Today is the 19th of June and I am heading for the Pentlands via called the Morrison's approach. For one reason, it's the quickest way to get me to my further objectives, which is once I'm on the hills to try and make some progress to the far side or to whatever route I've decided I'd like to go on today. This time I'm not 100% sure, and we'll just have to see as this develops. I'm using the GoPro Hero 10 with the media mod on it, so I'm using the front facing microphone and hopefully it is recording. There is some nice sunshine which helps, and I'm hopeful that that's going to be with me this afternoon. It's just after 2 p.m, a bit later than I wanted to go, but nonetheless go I am. So let's just see how it goes from here. Just crossing the link bridge, which is always a good feeling to have the traffic and everything going below. And that view that opens up to the Pentlands on the other side. I've reached a position here where it's a decision timer, and I'm at the top of White Hill, really, top of White Hill Plantation, and I can either go on up towards Cape Law or select a slightly different way, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to head along track here over to Benally, then I will go to round Harbour Hill, then over Bells Hill, and eventually just drop down into Den's Cleuch, walk round into the Glencorse Reservoir, follow it round and come back via Castle Law. So that's the plan. So on with it. This is where I leave the line of the woods, which goes up behind me there, and I follow down and track across this little bit of moorland. Often when the sun's out like it is at the minute, this is where I'm likely to spot deer. 2 or 3 of them tend to frequent this spot fairly regularly. In fact, when I started on the line of trees behind me, I saw one deer. It was on the other side of the fence and it darted off into the forest just as I was walking towards it. I didn't actually get a good sight of it other than its rear end bounding off, but yeah, well, it was still a capture of a deer, though in terms of a capture, not unfortunately on my video because I didn't have the camera on, but nonetheless a capture as to a sighting on this trip. Well, I'm now making towards Pentlands Hill, Harbour Hill, that I'll contour round, then drop down into Maiden's Cleuch, climb up and round Pentlands Hill, drop down into Den's Cleuch, then follow that round to Glencourse Reservoir and back home. But you can see the views today. The sky is beautiful. Really is good. And then of course that view looking behind me towards Threepmuir Reservoir. It's always a nice view. I do have a flask with me, but I'm not thinking of stopping for that till I've done quite a bit more of this journey. I've been on now for 1 hour and 26 minutes. So, but I'm getting thirsty, so I'll just have to wait and see how it goes. The Maiden's Cleuch, which is the pass leading from Curry over towards Flotterston. And it is a wonderful view from here, looking down and out across the Moorfoot and Lammermoor Hills. Never actually ever tire of being here on a sunny day. It is just so good. Get across that stream with the views all around, to be honest. Fantastic. Well, I'm just moving on from, as I say, Maiden's Clough, and I'm heading up now onto Pentlands Hill. Just come round Harbour Hill, and this, as I skip round this, will eventually drop down and take me into Pentlands Clough. This is where you've got to take a muddy detour around the estate house, and of course after all this really bad weather this track is in a terrible way. More so than that, it's practically a swamp. It's ridiculously bad. I'm not quite sure how you're supposed to get through this. I'm not seeing a lot of success from where other people have walked. Maybe in the bottom of these tracks. Not quite what I bargained for. Getting through here, I must admit, kind of had hoped it would be a little bit more firm than this. Clearly not. Seems a bit better here, though if you were to look at my boots, I think I'm going to have to take a paddle in the pond, in the reservoir, to get them clean. The gate over there is where I'm making for, round this way, and there's the beach so far. Not too good. And there's a heron just preening itself beyond these ducks. Let's see if we can catch it as well. How's that? Now I'm actually going to be heading round Castle Law, which is in front there, going up to the side. There's a track that you can see, that's where I'm heading for now. That's I think that might be Allermuir over there in the distance. In fact it is. So anyway, I'm going to stop halfway round Castle Law, basically where you can see that brown line, there's a quarry there. That's my intention anyway. A nice shot across Glencourse Reservoir here. Beautiful colours, the reflection of the clouds, wonderful. Well, I finally found my relax spot. Not fully out of the wind, but it's not bad. And the sun is shining. I've been walking for 3 hours and 14 minutes. And this is the first drink I've had in that time, which doesn't do much good for the hydration, but nonetheless makes this first cup more enjoyable, I think. So it's been really enjoyable walk, beautiful blue skies, and coming through dense kloof. I took the high track there. It's not really a track, but experience tells me if you go down too low there when it's wet, it's going to be really muddy. So I avoided all that. However, when I came to the end of this outward stretch, just moving down onto the path at Glencorse Reservoir, where you've got to just bypass the farm there, by courtesy of not going through the farmyard's drive. They've laid a bit in, but of course at the best of times it's boggy. But after the rains we've had recently, I was sinking in off of my boots in mud. I've tried to give them a clean with only a degree of success, so I'll have to give them a good wipe off when I get home and then wax them up to get the surface back again. Anyway, here we are, the Pentlands Hills, the call of the Pentlands once more, and of course I've got my little comfortable chair. Oh, that's lovely. No biscuits today. No, I just had to do a battery switch on the GoPro there, and that means you have to take off the media mode. I've got to say, the design of the GoPro is pretty rubbish, I would say. It almost seems to me that their options are not proper design options that have been thought through from the start. They're more like they get a problem and then you have to overcome it, as opposed to thinking of the design right from day one as to how it would all fit together. It's almost like they get to a problem and then you have to basically resolve the problem, and they do it in a way that problems should never have arisen in the first place had it been designed correctly. So there's a lot of things about it that aren't so good. But anyway, who am I to complain on a day like this? And in the sunshine. Time for the sunglasses. I never brought a hat, but I've got this if things get too hot. I could bring up and over. Beautiful skies. This is a nice little spot that I've just found secreted away, but I'll bring the camera over so as you can get a view from it, a view of it. So here it is, tucked away in a little dip just up from the track. 2 dips or so up. I tried to find a space that would take me out of the wind, and even though, as you can see by the moving grass, that the wind is still blowing significantly here, believe you me, this is pretty still compared to what it is like outside. The view of the hill beyond is Harbour Hill. Yes, it's Harbour Hill, and I think it is anyway. But it's lovely here. A nice little bit that I found, actually, not big enough for a tent, but you could quite easily put a bivvy bag here. The only thing is, because it's a hollow and a dip, and looking at the grass here, it looks like in heavy rain it might get a bit wet. Anyway, it's still nice. I bought this the other day. It's called Best Love Poems. Funny enough, here's one. Into My Heart, An Air That Kills by A. E. Houseman. Into my heart an air that kills, from yon far country blows. What are those blue remembered hills? What spires? What farms are those? This is the land of lost content. I see it shining plain, the happy highways where I went, and cannot come again. That's quite nice actually. What is that? Of childhood and youth. Well, this is always a bit like the long and winding road when I come to this stretch going down Howden Glen on my way home. Yeah, it just takes me down to the cistern house at the bottom, then it's along to Swanston, and that's it really. I've recorded that so many times that it's hardly necessary for me to include it on every video I do, but trust me, this is the way home. Definitely is. And I could do with a beer, that's for sure. Maybe when I get back that's what I'll do. I'll pour myself a nice bottle of cold Stella, a nice cold bottle of Stella out of the fridge, sit and relax with it. What a day it's been for weather-wise. I've been walking in the sun mostly all the time, and even now, though the sun has been shrouded a little bit by wispy white clouds now, it's still poking through, but it's lost its intensity. Anyway, no matter, it's a nice temperature to be walking down here on this long and winding road.
disparaging al-kiamah. Mendoakan sambaji itu. Baru mataku suamiku. 1 jam.